And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Hello, and thanks once again for joining us for this Thursday's edition of Alaska Weather. Up first on the fire danger or fire weather update, continued mainly dry. This for Thursday, August 3rd today was dry and hot across the interior and Copper River Basin, and isolated wet thunderstorms may start more fires. And above normal temperatures are priming the deeper fuels for burning in the interior along the Copper River Basin. And the outlook here for Saturday and Sunday, or Friday, the weekend. Let's call it the weekend. Southerly winds will pick up across the Alaska Range and southern interior this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. With continuing heat, these winds will be a challenge for the fire crews. Now onto the fire danger graphic for today. You can see still the same areas here with very high fire danger: Yukon Flats, Tanana Valley, the lee side of the Alaska Range, and also extending down high to very high fire danger into the Kuskokwim Valley, with moderate or medium all the way down into Bristol Bay, a little bit there on the North Slope, and that area right in the central Copper River Basin. And from there, looking at satellite imagery, had some clouds early on today, actually continuing into the afternoon here in the central interior areas, and also some sun mixed in with that, and then clearing back out on the North Slope area. A lot of sunshine, mostly clear skies, light winds. Southern Alaska, you can see here from Kuskokwim Delta into Bristol Bay, Kodiak Island, and across the southeast coast. And we've got a very weak front here washing out along the southwest coast today, bringing maybe a few areas of light rain, sprinkles, and clouds. A little more extensive you get up towards St. Lawrence Island and in toward the Bering Strait there, and then a weak trailing edge down along the Alaska Peninsula area, with moisture moving into the far western Aleutians. Main low center right here northwest of St. Paul Island. As you can see, about 998 millibars there, weak front right through here, and a couple of more troughs developing back farther to the west and southwest there, especially this one here with the next big cloud shield we saw on the satellite imagery. And that'll be moving up later tonight. Otherwise today, just isolated thunderstorms starting to develop along the Alaska Range, otherwise dry. And again, the area clouds, mostly cloudy in some areas of the central and western interior here, clearing out again up toward the North Slope. And very nice day here across south central Alaska. Some low clouds burning off in Cook Inlet, and high pressure, light winds, dry conditions for the Arctic coast. For tonight, this front continues to just wash out in place there right along the southwest coast. Maybe a few lingering light showers with it to the Alaska Peninsula. Otherwise, partly to mostly sunny over interior, or variably cloudy, not partly to mostly sunny, probably this evening. And then some showers lingering over the Alaska Range, and variably cloudy for the Panhandle, partly to mostly clear in some areas and more clouds in others. Next front develops out here to the west with that low pressure area still out over the western Bering Sea, or west-northwest Bering, and a new front develops and starts to tighten the gradient up, increase the wind and rain for the Adak-Atka area. Wind and rain on the increase for the Pribilof Islands late tonight, more likely toward tomorrow morning. Then we'll see for Friday. That front brings winds of anywhere from 30 gusts 45 miles an hour here from the Pribilof Islands on up on the increase there for St. Lawrence Island, along with the rain extending southward with gusty west-southwest winds, or actually south-southwest winds here for the eastern Aleutian areas, changing to showers. Winds become more westerly behind that front for Adak and Atka on out to Shimia, where the showers really scatter out. And still a little bit of moisture here with southerly flow banked up along the south side of the Alaska Peninsula for some light rain, fog, or drizzle, or one of the three there. Dry over interior Alaska. This is a remnant moisture with that front washing out along the coast. Some of that'll kick up to the north, maybe a few showers there. Noatak Valley, northwest coast in towards Selawik. Those areas otherwise dry, mostly sunny here over the much of interior Alaska. Highs in the 70s and into the 80 to 85 degree range over the central and eastern interior there, north of the Alaska Range, and 60s and 70s south central Alaska. Afternoon showers, thunderstorms for the eastern Alaska Range on down in toward the Wrangell Mountains. Call it mostly sunny here for the southeast coast, and light winds under high pressure for the Gulf of Alaska and the North Gulf Coast with areas of low clouds around. Outlook for Saturday, partly and mostly sunny, all of interior Alaska with highs 70s all the way up to the North Slope, maybe even the Arctic coast. A little cooler back here to the west, but still a lot of sunshine in the forecast. Eastern interior highs 80 to 85, or I'm sorry, 85 to 90 for the eastern interior, 80 to 85 in the central interior, and 70s, 65 to 75 for south central Alaska, North Gulf Coast, Prince William Sound. Highs in the 70s with partly mostly sunny skies for the Panhandle. Then this front edging eastward slowly, the low center kind of coming to the east there. Pretty good winds here ahead of that front, especially Yukon Delta coast, northern Bering Sea, St. Lawrence Island could see gusts anywhere from 25, gusts 45 miles an hour right up into the Bering Strait. But the rain getting hung up there right along the southwest coast up to the Bering Strait. Dry mostly for the Seward Peninsula the way it looks at this point in time. And for lows tonight in the 40s here for the North Slope and Arctic coast, in the 50s for the central interior areas, and down to the south, mostly in the 50s or upper 40s to lower 50s. Panhandle, same thing, lower to mid 50s and upper 40s to lower 50s for the Aleutians. Highs for tomorrow into the 80s. Actually, looks like 85 to 90 for Friday afternoon here over the eastern interior. Lower 80s, upper 70s as you head west, and then down into the 50s for the Seward Peninsula, lower 50s, St. Lawrence Island. 65 to 75 for the North Slope, Dead Horse up to close to 70, and 63 for Kodiak. Otherwise, upper 60s to mid 70s for the southeast coast, 65 to 75. Susitna Valley, south central Alaska, Copper River Basin into the mid 80s in the normally warmer areas there. 55 to 60 for the Aleutians, Alaska Peninsula, mid 50s for the Pribilofs, and up toward, or for the lows on Saturday morning, we've got 50s here for the North Slope, upper 40s central Arctic coast. So pretty mild over all of interior Alaska, mostly in the 50s everywhere, all the way down to Kodiak Island, except closer to 50 there. And lower 50s or upper 40s for the Aleutians. Highs out to the, lows 50s, mid to upper 50s, in the 50s for the Panhandle. And then highs for Saturday afternoon in the 70s, 75 to 80 if you wish for the southeast coast. Highs 85 to 90, maybe even 91, 92, 93 in some locations, Chalk-Yitzhak for example, but definitely hot here over the central and eastern interior, and even pushing lower 80s for the eastern central North Slope areas with 70s right out to the Arctic coast, and pretty nice 60s elsewhere up there in the mid 50s here for the Bering Sea, mid to upper 50s for the Aleutians.